Welcome to forever, man. Let's go. Come on. This forever. No surrender. Yeah. You know that this right here forever. And there will be no surrender. Now allow me to reintroduce myself, because this is forever. And there will be no surrender. Yeah. You know that this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know this right here forever.
Everyone.
Hello and welcome to the live. My name is Mick McQuillan, and if you're joining me live, give me say hi in the chat. I'd love to hear what you've got to say. And if you've been here and you're following this series with myself and Joey, don't know where Joey is. I was talking to him first thing this morning, so he's probably just running a little bit late, so he's probably going to join us here. But look, I want to welcome you to episode 25. Oh, hold on. Is that right? Episode 25? No, it's episode 26. Born Rich. This is the Bob Proctor full remastered You Were Born Rich webinar. And of course, we're in part 2, week 4. So it's going to be amazing. We're going to finish off just before Christmas, this webinar. We're going to get straight into it. But look, before we do, like, subscribe, and share. And of course, you know, when I was doing this last week, I was actually muted for about all this time. Thank God I'm not today. But look, like, subscribe, and share. And of course, download the workbook. The link is in the description. I think and follow along. You know, this could be life changing. You know, but this is a no limits transform your life live that we're doing really, and it's about maybe looking and feeling the best that you felt in a decade. It's about looking better, feeling better, moving better, doing better, and of course, look, I want you to kick off 2024 with us, with myself and Joey. I know Joey's not here, but he will be here. I'm sure of it. But look, we're just going to have some fun. we're going to get straight into the webinar. And of course, let me see if I can share that now. Yeah, let's do it this way. So, and, you know, last week, if you remember, John Canary, this is John Canary, he was talking about the season to sow. And Joey and I had a great conversation about that. And you can catch that if you want to look back on last week's webinar. We had a great, in fact, we were saying that, you know, that you could do a whole kind of episode just on that, season to sow. But look, so he was just talking about that, and we're going to wrap it up. We've probably got maybe 10 or 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe, on this part 2 section before we get on to part 3. Part 3 will start next week. Same time, same place. Sunday morning for me, Sunday evening for Joey. Joey's in Australia. And of course, look, I'm excited to go through this with you. So look, let's just hop straight into it. But look, remember, you can download your Freedom, Health and Lifestyle Goal Sheet. Again, link is in the description. And again, links to be able to contact Joey or myself if you've got questions that you want to get answered, or if you want to arrange a call to find out what next steps that you could take. Feel free to reach out. You know, Joey and I are here to help. We really just want to help. It's about giving back. So look, I'm excited to be here with you. And look, let's just jump into this, right?
So that's been very important to me.
We can reason, I said, 2 ways. We can reason inductively and we can reason deductively. Do you know the moment that you begin to entertain a new idea, if your conditioning is evaluating that idea, you may reject that idea only because of your old conditioning. But chances are even good that a person who has experienced a lot of good results in their life, when they're presented with a constructive idea, their conditioning will evaluate that idea as a good constructive idea to move on to another dimension in their life. Think about it this way. Inductively, we have the ability to gather what is called facts. I'm going to give you a good example. There was a man one time who took a $5 bar of iron. And with that $5 bar of iron, he started to really think, what can I do with it? Well, what have they done with it so far? Well, they use it as a paperweight. They use it to keep a door open. But
if you want to make money online as an affiliate marketer, you may find this a little bit controversial, but we've stumbled across a way to earn reliable.
He started to really think. He was using his inductive factor, his critical factor, his logical factor, his creative nature. He was using that to figure out, what can I do with this $5 bar of iron? In other words, he was thinking. And he started to put some facts together as to what he could do with this $5 bar of iron. That's what he found. He found a way to make kitchen cutlery by using and gathering facts and gathering information and bringing from the spiritual plane by bringing thought. The greatest power in all creation, power of thought. And he started to pull in these thoughts to figure out, what can I do with this $5 bar of iron? He found a way to make kitchen cutlery. And he sold it for $250. But someone else came along and they gathered one more piece of information. They started to gather a little more information. I can do something more with that $5 bar of iron. And they arrived at a premise. What's a premise? It's an idea. Science approach every subject with an idea or the premise that there is an answer. He approached the new idea with the $5 bar of iron, that there was a better thing to do with it than kitchen cutlery, and he found it. And he made balance springs and put them in your watch. And he sold it for $250,000. I want you to think about you as a $5 bar of iron. Really stop and think about you as a $5 bar of iron. Because you see, if you're not thinking, you are going to leave your mind open to a world of conditions and to a world of circumstance. You will be totally deductive to why something won't work, to people who say it won't work, to all the adversities that are going to go wrong, to the economy and to everybody in it. You'll become totally deductive to the fact that it won't work. That's going to happen to us from time to time. But if you're not thinking, then your mind is idle. And Napoleon Hill will say right in that book, Think and Grow Rich, this is what he said. He said, the idle mind is the devil's workshop. You've got to specifically stop and think about almost every idea that's presented to you. Is it something that will enhance my life? Rather than becoming totally deductive to it. Let's see how well you remember that. Would you just take your hand like that once more? Let's see if you remember. And just take it and place it on your cheek like that. Now, where's your cheek? Oh, some of you were going right along with me there, weren't you? All right. So on this page, we're talking about, we have the intellectual factors of reason, intuition, perception, will, memory, and imagination. We will never, ever use them if we don't invoke our inductive factor or the ability to think. Tremendous power, tremendous potential, tremendous things wait for everybody who will actually use their intellectual factors to work with this.
I thought, you know, like just a thought that popped into my mind there. You know, I think he's talking about being open-minded. You know, is that what he's talking about? Is he talking about being open-minded, you know, by thinking, by not allowing your conditioning to control your thoughts? I suppose, look, we're all programmed, right, from birth, you know, through the education process and everything else. Look, I don't have all the answers, but I find this course fascinating. But yeah, I think he's talking about, you know, keeping an open mind, or I might be wrong there as well. You know, I think it's about keeping an open mind to these thoughts, but to actually think about what it is that it is that you want, and then act on that, as opposed to allowing your conditioning to control, you know, that personal reality that you have. And when you think about all the things that could go wrong if you were to do this or try something new or something like that. So it's maybe about thinking about all the things that you could do, and of course, you know, educating yourself, you know, finding out the facts, finding out the things that you could do differently. Not the things that you're already doing that work, but the things that you could do differently to help improve them more. But look, we're going to get into it. Let's find out what he's talking about.
It's phenomenal potential. So on page 13, your deductive reasoning factor does not have the ability to reject ideas. Think about it. Your inductive reasoning factor does not have the ability to reject an idea. How often have we become totally subjective to an idea or to a group of people without giving it any thought or consideration? It only has the ability to accept and turn over to the treasury of the subconscious mind whatever is offered to it. When your inductive reasoning factor is inoperable, set aside, or not engaged, you are not thinking for yourself. Now, you must follow this book with me. It is vitally important. If you were in a very positive environment when your conscious mind was in a deductive state, you would automatically become the benefactor of that positive energy that you're surrounded by. It says, however, if your conscious mind was in a deductive state and you were in a negative environment, you would automatically become the benefactor of all the negative energy your senses come into contact with. It says your negative energy comes from many sources: people, papers, television, radio, even loved ones. It passes directly through your conscious mind and causes you to feel or vibrate in a like manner. Think about that. Napoleon Hill often talks about, he said, I want you to imagine, he said, that there's an energy constantly flowing to, with, and through you. And he said that this energy is flowing not only with, to, and through you, but also around you. And he said that energy is affecting people around you, just as their energy is affecting you and the people around them. And the people around them. A person who is continually in a negative environment and whose consciousness is deductive will very quickly become a product of that environment. What is meant by if their consciousness is deductive? In other words, if your belief system lends itself to persisting no more than a day, and you are around people whose consciousness will not persist any more than a day, the chances of you ever changing that persistence and staying in that environment are not very good. Are not very good.
What is he talking about now? I think he's talking about getting new friends, right? I think, what is it? You become, most like the 5 people that you hang around with. I don't know whether that's true. Some would probably say it is. Some might say it's not. But I suppose you do. You become, like your environment, the people that you hang around with. You think like them. You all think the same kind of things. You have the same types of opinions. So I think he's talking about here about maybe getting some new friends. Think about the person that you want to become, and maybe go and find a group of people that are like that and hang around with them, and then you become like them. Is that it? Is that what he's talking about? Could be, right? That would be very interesting, wouldn't it? If it was that simple. Is it that simple? Probably is. Think about, like I like football, I like watching football. I don't watch it as much as I used to, but, I occasionally watch it. Obviously, my team right now isn't doing very well. But when you think about, a football player, if you're a good football player and you're playing with great footballers, do you become great? I think you probably get better, right? I think you do probably get better. So obviously, maybe you just need better people in your life, better mentors. And of course, look, I'm going to invite you to come along to meet some of my mentors. I'll show you a little bit about that in a minute. But look, this should be fun. To be honest, some of this stuff is going to probably piss you off a little bit too. Do you know what I mean? Because it means that you've got to change the way that you think. Maybe you don't want to change the way that you think. Maybe you like the way that you think, but if you're still getting the same results that you've always got, maybe you've got to change something. So I don't know. We're going to find out. Don't be pissed off at me. I'm just the messenger. In fact, I'm just bringing you the information. What you do with it is up to you. But I think if you remember at the beginning of the webinar, they were saying, look, don't discard this information. It's worthless to you if you don't do anything with it. You've got to do something with it. And I would encourage you to go back and watch the whole thing again anyway. I really would. It's really worth watching over and over, until some of these ideas stick. And the second time you listen to it, you're going to hear things that maybe you didn't hear the first time around. But look, let's go ahead.
Let's go to the next page. The inductive reasoning factor. At the top, your inductive reasoning factor is your thinker. It is referred to in some circles as the critical or analytical factor. This is the part of your personality that actually separates you from all the rest of the animal kingdom, and it gives you dominion over your world. Remember something over there in Genesis 1:26? What did it say? You were given dominion over what? The fowl of the air, the fish of the sea, and everything that creepeth on the earth. Do you think they referred to everything other than your results? Did they mean, Dan, everything but your income? Did they mean everything but your happiness? Did they mean everything but your health? We don't have time to go into the story, but I could tell you a story about health just as far as my own my own family is concerned, about Maureen, who was very, very ill at one time. But she refused to give in to a life-threatening illness. She wouldn't become deductive to the fact that she could not become healthy again. She thought of all the reasons why she could and all the reasons how she was going to. And she would not listen or permit anyone who suggested anything remotely different. Anything remotely different than what she wanted to be, what she wanted to do, where she wanted to go. She wouldn't accept it. She wouldn't.
I heard the story about Jim Carrey, the famous actor, when I was a kid, and it so inspired me. There was a point when, as a
accept. This is the part of your personality that actually separates you from the rest of the animal kingdom and gives you dominion over. Properly developed and applied, your inductive reasoning factor will turn you on and turn you into an excellent channel for creative energy to flow through. At the present time, presently, you are vibrating in a notion of magnificent thought and energy. We'll be getting into that a lot more tomorrow. But I want you to imagine yourself for a moment, if you could. Just stop and think. Like, just close your eyes for a moment. Go ahead and do that. Just close your eyes. Everyone close their eyes. And just imagine yourself living in this ocean of motion. Just imagine it. Picture it. You see this tremendous, tremendous mind stuff. An intelligence, if you will. Just imagine it. You're plugging into it. Right now, you're doing that. You're plugging into it. And you are drawing from it right now. As you stop and think, as you can see it, you are actually drawing from it, pulling from it. Do you know that of all the good of this universe, we're poured over each person in this room, the only amount of that good that you can have is yours only by right of your consciousness. The only amount you can have is the amount you're able to understand. You can only have what is yours by right of consciousness. Let's continue in the book. When these thoughts are brought together, they build creative ideas that can change your old conditioning and literally build your world more beautiful than you previously could have imagined. Let me tell you something that I just have absolutely no problem with anymore with regard to taking a number of thoughts. Bob mentioned this morning something about water. Water is energy at a certain state of vibration. Yes, no. In other words, it is two hydrogen atoms and one at a certain state of vibration. Think about this. Success is energy, a certain group of thoughts that form an idea at a certain state of vibration. Success is nothing more but energy in its most organized state of vibration. Failure, therefore, would be energy, a certain group of thoughts vibrating against natural law, known as confusion. It is energy in its most confused state of vibration. Is that difficult? I don't think so. What is health? It is an orderly state of vibration. But to achieve it, we must invoke and use our inductive factor, what we're talking about here. So when these thoughts are brought together, they build creative ideas that can change your old conditioning and literally build your world more beautiful than you previously could have imagined. You must, however, properly plant these creative ideas in the treasury of your subconscious mind, the part of your mind that transforms every impression that enters in it into physical form. The word was turned into flesh. Think about that. What is the word? It is the formulation of your thoughts into an idea. That's when it becomes the word transformed into a reality or in the form of a result. I'm asking you to examine that idea. Just examine it. In big black print in your book, I want you to really look at it. Will this idea improve the quality of my life? How many people here, for some time now, have had a great desire on something they want to be, something they want to do, and something they want to have? How many people have actually desired something that you have not yet accomplished? Now, honestly, would you put your hands up? Hold them way up high there. Hold them way up high. Just keep them up there for a minute. Now let them down, and let me ask you this. With respect to this idea, isn't it true you have had ways on how you can achieve it? Yes, no. Isn't it true that ideas have come to your mind on things that you should do, but you've rejected them because of what? Say it louder. Fear. Or is it old conditioning? Does the old conditioning tell you why you can't do it? Does it act?
I don't know. What do you think? Like, this is simple, but it's not easy, right? Because it means you've got to think about it. Like, you've got to think in every moment. Otherwise, you just fall back into that old conditioning. Not easy. It takes concentration, right? It really does. You have to be thinking all of the time. about becoming this better person, this person that you want to be. Otherwise, you're just treading water. You're just not moving. I tell you, this stuff is deep. It really is. It really is deep. Like, it gets me every time. Do you know that? Every time I listen to it, it gets me every time. It's just, I don't know. It's really, I enjoy it. I enjoy this course. I really do. But it just smacks you in the face sometimes. Pisses me off, because it just highlights that, that I'm not being as good as that I could be. So there's no point in beating myself up. There's plenty of other people out there that do that for me. So I don't need to do it to myself, but I need to commit to myself to be better. And I'm going to make that commitment right here. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better at doing the things that I need to do. And of course, I think one of the reasons why people are successful is because they do the things that other people that are unsuccessful won't do. I need to be doing more of those things. Now, look, I don't want to be boastful or anything else like this, but I'm already quite a successful business person. We've got a great organization, a great business with my wife, that we have. And, it's incredible. And we do a lot of things that a lot of people weren't prepared to do in order to build that business. Made a lot of sacrifices, with family, friends, maybe even health at times. Do you know what I mean? Because you're not living an orderly life, which is what he's talking about. To have order, organized information, organized, thoughts. I was talking to someone the other day, and I was just saying, maybe when I get up in the morning, if I changed my routine first thing in the morning, how would that affect the rest of my day? Would my whole day be different, or would I go through the same thing? Because, maybe you're a little bit like me. Maybe you get up in the morning, you have a routine, you get a cup of coffee, you brush your teeth, maybe you go out for a walk, whatever it is you do, and then you go to work, and then you come back from work, and then you watch telly, or you do whatever it is that you do. And then you do that again and again and again. And it's just a repeated day over and over again. Maybe at the weekend it changes and you do the same thing you did last weekend. You go out with friends, you go out for coffee, whatever it is, you go shopping, you do something with the kids. I don't know what it is for you, but if I want something different, I've got to do something different, right? Does that make sense? It kind of makes sense to me, but maybe it starts with my thinking. I think that's what he's saying. It starts with your thinking first. So, all right, look, I don't know if you've got any comments or questions, pop them in the chat. And if you're watching on the replay, don't forget, let us know that you're watching on the replay. We'll definitely try and get back to you. But of course, don't forget, like, subscribe, share. Joey and I are normally here, same time, same place, every week. And we'll be back again next week. No, we're not finishing up yet. We're going to watch the end of this. I want to see what happens. I want to hear what happens, right?
As a reminder as to what went wrong the last time. Isn't it true that the last time someone told you, hey, you shouldn't do this, you failed, so you should listen to the next person again? So we've got to start using, not our old conditioning, not being deductive. We've got to start to use what? Inductive reasoning. What is inductive reasoning? Tell me. Is it just thinking or thinking about? Yeah, now remember, now we're not talking about just mental gymnastics here. We're talking about working with the power of thought. Thinking is working with the power of thought. I don't know how many people are familiar with a place called Glace Bay, Nova Scotia. Well, that's where I come from, Glace Bay, Nova Scotia. It's not the end of the earth, but you can see it from there. And it's a little coal mining town. No, this is really a different place here. It's a little coal mining town just down Nova Scotia there. Quite a place. And I can remember my dad coming home there every day, and he had this big light on the top of a big hat to protect his head because he worked out under the sea in the coal mines. And he'd have all these old clothes on, and they'd be all dirty and black, and he just looked awful. And he'd come home and home and home and home and home and home. And a lot of people here know my dad pretty well. He used to say, it's all you got to do is work hard, and it's all you got to do is be honest, and you're going to win. Now, that's only partly true. Hill said in his book, and I have to hurry this up now, Hill pointed out in his book, until, he said, we perish such foolish thoughts that working hard and being honest will bring us the desired riches. He said, we'll never change the result until we learn that we must invoke, implement, become aware of. He said this power of thought, and it's only reached He said through the inductive factor or through the ability to think. That's what thinking is. It is working with the power of thought to improve the conditions that you presently have and not allowing yourself to become deductive to all the reasons why it can't. So let me kind of bring this in for a landing then at the bottom here. If when an idea enters your mind, and it's happening all the time at a fraction of a second, the answer to the above question is yes, then the idea is very...
If you can't manifest abundance, there are 3 simple reasons why not. I see so many people getting this.
very likely good for you. Will the ideas that you have held that enter your mind from time to time on how you can achieve a desire, the next time that idea enters your mind and you say, will this idea improve my life? You've got to act on the idea. There's a gentleman I talked to at lunch down here. I hope you're listening. Hope you're listening. Over on page 15, quick exercise.
John Canary made reference to page 15 and 16 in your action planner. They're vitally important pages. It's absolutely essential that you answer these questions, go over them, and really think. What we're doing is looking at where we are in our life right now financially. Let me touch on a couple of the questions. In your present position, how much money do you earn? How much have you earned up to this point in your life? If you converted everything you owned into cash and paid any outstanding debts, how much money would you have? Now, there's a couple of questions here that frequently raise questions in our seminar. Do you think any person is worth $1 million a year or more? And there's another one by George Bernard Shaw, and we're using this within the context of earning money, where he said it is a sin to be poor. Do you agree with Shaw's statements? Now, consider this for a moment. If money is reward we receive for service rendered, and we render a lot of service, it would necessarily follow that we would be worth a lot of money. And if we keep in mind that money is a servant and you're the master, and that you can extend the service that you render far beyond your own physical presence if you have enough money, I think we will realize what George Bernard Shaw said was accurate. It is a sin to be poor. If we haven't got much money, we're just not rendering much service. And I think the greatest is the servant. Answer those questions accurately and realize this. If it doesn't look too good, that's not bad. At least you know where you're at. And as we get into the next part of this program, we can show you then how to get to where you want to go. Remember, I pointed out it's absolutely essential that you have a goal if you're going to get the best out of this program. And at the end of the first cassette that you had, we give you a suggestion of possibly a trip to one of these paradise islands. How about a new automobile? Would you like a new automobile? If you could have any kind of car you wanted, what would you have?
Pass the torch, one to another. Carry the flame as far as you can. Pass the torch, sister to brother. The journey is yours, the journey is mine. A journey to understand. On rich.
Brilliant, right? So look, just on when your man was talking, John Canary was talking there was, it just made me think about, obviously this book, Think and Grow Rich. This is the book that Bob Proctor studied for the best part of 60 odd years, maybe more. And when John Canary was talking at the end there, it made me just think about masterminds. And I can't remember which book it is, but there was I think a Lunar Society or a Lunar Club. It might be in this book, or it might be in The Magic of Thinking Big. I'm not sure, can't remember. But I think it is, I suppose you can expand your thoughts, right, by being around other people who have different thoughts to you or different experiences. If you're hanging around with someone who's really successful, they're gonna have different thoughts or different ideas to maybe what you have. So you've got to expand. You've got to expand it, right? So look, I thought, the links are in the description to be able to go and watch the whole thing. I would encourage you to go and do that because, look, I know it's Christmas. It's Christmas Day tomorrow. It's obviously creepy where I am. Probably is where you are too, maybe. But look, this is definitely worth your time. It really is. And I want to encourage you to take the action, to figure out what it is that you want. Think about a reason why you want to do something. Think about your goal. Think about, maybe a lot of people around this time of year are thinking about, maybe getting in better shape, I'm going to encourage you to do that too. If you want to get in the best shape that you've been in a decade, I'm going to encourage you to come and join us, join Joey and I, and if you're ready, I want you to kick off your 16-week challenge. And the 16-week challenge really is about looking and feeling the best that you felt in a decade. You can find out more by going to this website. I'll just show you the link here. You can jot it down or write it down. Let me see. If you go to Rise, Thrive Global, in fact, I'll show you. In fact, let me see if I can. Okay. Where's there? You can see that. Okay, so if you go to risethrive.global, you can see a video there. That's Linda Proctor. That's Bob's wife. And obviously we're just watching Bob there from his full remastered You Were Born Rich seminar. Again, link is in the description to go and watch the whole thing. You can download the workbook and join in. I want you to do that. It should be a fun thing to do. But I work quite closely with Linda, and of course, Linda's one of my mentors. And we have other mentors here, world-class mentors. Linda Proctor, Marnie Kay, Vickers, Megan McCurdy, Nick Dask, and many, many more, all over the world. And, the good thing about this group here, and you can, there's a course here that you can go and do right now, which is one of Linda's course. So in fact, I just, I was on it there myself just a couple of weeks ago, the Earn What You're Worth course. All you need to do is just fill out your name, your email. How do you find us? You can just put Mick and Joey in here. And of course, you can get access to that masterclass replay. And again, listening to Linda, she's unbelievable. She's incredible. I love being around Linda and listening to what she has to say. She has a different way of thinking about things. Not a bad way, just different, straightforward, straight to the point. And I think you might enjoy it too. So you'll definitely learn something for sure, something about yourself, which is the hardest thing, right? So look, what do you really want? And if there was a way to truly create the lifestyle of your dreams, one that actually worked for you, a proven way, that wouldn't you be curious to find out more? So watch this video here, download the little black book. And of course, this is Bob's little black book. He'll explain more in this video. So definitely watch this video here. And then of course, sign up for the newsletter, sign up for the masterclass, get your question answered. And of course, meet one of your coaches, for sure. But if you're looking to change your life, you've got to change some things in your life. It's really no more complicated than that. And not everybody wants to do that. And I understand that. For a long time, I didn't really want to do that. I just wanted to glide through life. Do you know what I mean? Just letting life happen to me. Maybe if you're at the end of that phase where you're thinking, I really need to do something. I want to do something. I want to do something right now. Well, now is that time, right? Now is that time just to make a decision. So let me just see. What are we going to talk about now? Listen, I think what we'll do is we'll finish up a little bit early. And I'll play out with mine and Joey's favorite Bob Proctor video. But look, don't forget, like, subscribe, share. And of course, you can go to this website. Let me see if you're ready to get started on your 16-week journey. 16 weeks. So what is the 16-week challenge? Well, it's about getting in the best shape of your life, right? Go to freedomhealthandlifestyle.com/ISA Body Challenge. Here you can learn more about what we do, how we do it, and what you can expect from this challenge. And this challenge is really about, looking and feeling the best that you felt in a decade. And of course, on that journey, you know, where you'll get full support, you know, there's a great community, and it really is about the community, you know, the accountability, you know, there's lots and lots of information. And just as I think, I can't remember what it was, there was a comment there, you know, let me see if I can find it. Can't see it. Where is it? Where's it gone? So think of all the reasons why you could succeed. So maybe if you're a little bit like me, maybe, and you've tried losing weight in the past and different things like this, and, you know, yeah, you lost a bit and then you put it back on, you lost a bit, then you put it back on, you lost a bit, then you put it back on. You know, look, you know, a lot of people have done that. You know, I've done that. You know, in fact, when I started on this 16-week challenge, I didn't even want to do it. In fact, if I did, I wanted to do it in secret. And that way that if I failed, no one would even know that I was doing it or that I tried it. So, but what happened for me was I got started, and within a couple of weeks, I'd lost kind of 10 pounds. I had to cut 2 new holes in my belt just to stop my trousers falling down. And I just moved on. I've since gone on to lose over 3 stone. Now, am I where I want to be? No, I'm not, you know, but I know that I can get there, right? I know I can get there. So, and if I can do it, you can do it. So I would encourage you to get involved. Go to freedomhealthandlifestyle.isagenix.com/IsaBodyChallenge, or just drop me an email, and you can reach me at mike@mpmcquillan.com. Again, the link is in the description. If you want to reach out to Joey, his details are there too. And again, look, we want to get you started. So let me see. Let me just get rid of some of this. Perfect. All right, listen, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Let me tidy some of this up. Yeah, so I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you before the new year. And I'm excited to be here with you, be here for you, and service to many leads to greatness. And of course, Bob was talking about there about the reward of money comes as a reward for doing the work, and it does. It really, really does. But it's about how you leverage yourself, how you leverage your time, you know, how you leverage, your ability to serve more people. We've got a great opportunity here which teaches people how to do that, how to build multiple sources of income so you can get paid, you know, over and over again just for doing the work once, right? So that's true leverage. So look, don't wait, get started right now, you know, claim your discovery call, and find out more about Freedom Health and Lifestyle and what Freedom Health and Lifestyle can be for you. For me, you know, freedom is about working with who I want, where I want, when I want, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's about time freedom. You know, health is a 3-phase thing for me. Health is physical health. You want to be able to move around. You've got all this time to be able to do stuff. You want to be able to move around. You also want good mental health. You know, I'm not just talking about positive thinking. I'm talking about positive feeling. You know, it's more than that. And I think when you get those, you know, those 2 things in line, the positive thinking and the positive feeling in line, I think amazing things can really, really happen. And then, of course, good financial health. You know, you've got money, you've got time, you've got good, positive, you know, physical health, mental health, thinking and feeling, and you've got money. What kind of lifestyle can you lead? Now, a friend of mine would once say, life is what we have, style is the way you live it. And I think that's a fun way of describing it, for sure. But I also think, you know, about lifestyle with purpose. How can you build a lifestyle with purpose? You've got all this freedom of time. You've got, you know, good financial health, good physical health, good mental health. What kind of lifestyle could you lead with purpose? What kind of difference could you make in your community? Who would you help? You know, so I think there's a lot to be said for Freedom Health and Lifestyle. You know, give me a call, you know, claim your discovery call, and, you know, let me know what your Freedom Health and Lifestyle looks like. And let's see if we can, you know, do something together, you know, to get that growth that you want. So think about, where do you want to go? You know, because I think that Joey and I can help you there. I think that the Rise, Thrive initiative and community can help you get there. But look, in order to get that, you've got to take the next step. And I'm going to ask you to take the next step with me. So look, go to that website. You're invited to the next webinar. I think it's going to be on January 8th. So make sure you register on that website, risethrive.global. Register there, and you'll be updated with the upcoming information. Okay, well, listen, look, I'm excited for you to join me here. It's been a privilege. 2023 has been amazing for me. I hope it has been for you. I'm excited for 2024. I know we're not there yet. We've got another week to go, right? So anything can happen in this next week, and you can do it right now. So let's finish out. Let's close out with this great little video. It's only a short video, and Happy Christmas, everybody.
You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Now, do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, my God, I'm going to change something. Now we say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by